Hi folks, welcome to my video about Tempelhof Airport in Berlin. It's actually one of Berlin's biggest parks and it's an abandoned airport. So stick around, I'm going to talk to you about what to expect if you're going to visit, or if you're curious, stick around as well. You maybe learn something. So cycling at an airport, it seems strange, right? Yes, I know, but this is actually an abandoned airport. It stopped being used as an airport in 2008, and it's now a public park where you can walk, cycle, skate on the runways. It's pretty cool. So it's played a crucial role in Berlin for many, many years. Actually, back in 1948, it was the place where it kept West Berlin fed when the Soviet blockade was in place by airlifting food for all of the residents. And in 2017 it turned into one of Europe's largest refugee camps, holding almost 7,000 people in temporary accommodation within the hangars of the airport. A couple of reasons why I'd recommend going to visit Tempelhof Airport are, it's first of all free to visit, so that's great, especially if you're on a budget. It can actually be a full day out, and I'll explain a bit why, just because of the way that they've set up the park. How to get around the park, I would recommend, if you can, to hire a bike or to hire a scooter. The reason for that is that it's such a large park, it would take quite a while to get all the way around it, and part of the benefit of being able to get around so quickly is that you can cycle a bike on the actual runway track. I was nerding out a little bit, if I'm honest, when I was on my bike, and especially when you're approaching the runway. It was very cool to see all the arrows and imagine yourself as a pilot. So if you could, I would recommend getting a bike. There's actually quite a few entrances into the park, which I'll put up on a map. You can see that when you come in on those entrances, then you can kind of cycle around. There are 2 runways that go across the park, and yeah, I would recommend that you book to have a tour of the airport. You can do this online in advance, it's recommended, and the tour is a guided tour that you get. They're only running, I think, at once or twice a day. When I was looking in August of 2023. Unfortunately, I actually turned up 45 minutes late for my tour that I booked, because I had put it in my diary in UK time and Germany is an hour ahead. So it meant that I turned up late, so I missed it. But I would still recommend it anyway. I can't imagine there's many airports in the world where you can get a backstage tour of something that's been abandoned and it's still left there and kept in good condition. So I would recommend that. However, there is still a lot of information available within the main information centre, which is at the entrance of the airport. It's again pretty cool arriving into that area on a bike. Normally that would be where you'd have cars queued up with buses and coaches full of people or dragging their suitcases into the check-in desks. But at this airport it's very different. It's quiet, you can cycle around, and yeah, there's a lot of information as well about how the airport was used and how it's been quite crucial in terms of getting people out of the Soviet-controlled East Berlin. There's a couple of other things that I really love about this park, and I think it's just very German in the way it's been done. By giving the park back to the public, there's a few different areas designated for activities. So you've got, for example, a community garden where you can have a look at what vegetables people are growing, and people have got allotments there. So that's kind of quite nicely designated on the right-hand side of the park. You've also got quite a few barbecue areas, I think one in the north and one on the east side of the park. So yeah, if you do want to have a barbecue in Berlin, get some beautiful weather in the summer, so I would recommend having a barbecue there and enjoying. One of the things I really like about this park is it's so flat. Normally parks have trees, and so you can only really see for so far, whereas with this one it's so flat and you can see for so far, and nature's kind of started to really regrow, which I love. You've still got the original concrete of the runways, but nature and all the natural flowers around the sides are starting to come back. So it's a real kind of mix, almost a bit like an apocalypse style, end of the world, but I kind of like it. So also you've got a cafe on the west side, so you can get ice creams, drinks, there's some deck chairs out there. So definitely recommend, I stopped there to get an ice cream because I was quite warm after trying to cycle as fast as a plane would go down a runway, which you can't do that. Also there's a fairground to the north when I was there, And yeah, so all in all, if you are in Berlin and you have some time to spare, I would highly recommend going to visit Tempelhof, if not only for the fact that it's a nice place to relax, where it's quiet and you've got space, but also because we just don't know how much longer it will continue to be open to the public, hopefully forever. But you know, as property and housing are always an issue in big cities, you just don't know if that will start to disappear. So go and check it out now. It's probably one of the only places I've ever been on a runway in my life. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Tempelhof Park. So thanks for watching my video. If you've got any questions or comments, or if you've visited yourself, let me know in the comments below. And I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back on the next video. Thanks.